What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 9.
Millionaire Maker. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay guys, this is for the Millionaire Maker slate, which is the Sunday main slate at 1 p.m. Oh, and stick around to the very end of this video. After I show you all my picks in the Draft Dashboard tools, I'll show you these players in DraftKings and in FanDuel, the Millionaire Maker slates. There'll be 2 spots open that you have to fill in, but you'll have a great Millionaire Maker core. Okay guys, NFL Week 9. Let's take a look at the quarterback position. So my Millionaire Maker quarterback for Week 9 is Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens playing the Minnesota Vikings, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and although they've been pretty good versus opposing quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson has averaged 26.1 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 10.9 rush attempts per game. He's going to be about 10% owned, projected at 24.8 fantasy points here in Week 9. He scored 23 fantasy points last week, 14 fantasy points the week before that, but 3 weeks ago he scored 46 fantasy points. He had 14 rush attempts. He had 12 rush attempts last week. So you get a rushing floor from Lamar Jackson, and he's got a crazy high ceiling. I think he's going to put up one of those ceiling games here this week versus the Minnesota Vikings. Vegas thinks there's going to be 49.5 points scored in this game, and they have the Ravens favored by 5.5. So this game will be pretty close, within a touchdown. And Lamar Jackson is 7,300 DraftKings salary, 1,000 more on FanDuel. So I like Lamar Jackson here versus the Minnesota Vikings.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. Now, we're going to save some salary at the wide receiver position, and I'll show you why I picked Lamar Jackson for my Millionaire Maker quarterback. But let's get into this running back pick. My Millionaire Maker running back is Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints playing the Atlanta Falcons, who have the 8th worst defense overall, and they give up the 9th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Alvin Kamara has averaged 20.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 19 rush attempts per game and 5.3 pass targets per game. He's going to be about 14% owned. He's on the field for 80% of the snaps, and he touches the ball 48% of the time, so he gets monster volume. He's been super productive this year. He's in a fantastic matchup, and he's projected at 20.4 fantasy points here in Week 9. He's 8,200 DraftKings salary, 1,200 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 42.5 points scored in this game, with the New Orleans Saints favored by 6.5. So I think this is going to be a running game script here versus the Atlanta Falcons. And Alvin Kamara has scored 17, 37, and 29 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 19, 20, and 16 rush attempts. And he got 4, 11, and 8 pass targets in those games. So he's just getting monster volume, over 20 touches a week, been super productive. I love this matchup. I think this is the game to pay up for Alvin Kamara. So I like Alvin Kamara here versus the Atlanta Falcons.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. So my Millionaire Maker wide receiver for NFL Week 9, and this is why I picked Lamar Jackson as my Millionaire Maker quarterback, because I wanted to stack Rashad Bateman from the Baltimore Ravens playing the Minnesota Vikings, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Now, Rashad Bateman, he's played 2 games so far this season, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 6 pass targets per game. He's been on the field for 100% of the snaps, and he's only going to be about 4% owned, projected at 10.2 fantasy points here in Week 9, and he's only 4,000 DraftKings salary, 1,400 more on FanDuel. We know Vegas thinks there's going to be 49.5 points scored in this game, with the Ravens favored by 5.5. So this is a good wide receiver matchup, and he's played really well the last 2 games, or his first 2 games. 6 pass targets per game, and he's been pretty productive. I think he has a breakout week here in Week 9, and at only 4,000 DraftKings salary, I think that makes him a really good stack with Lamar Jackson, and especially at that low ownership for the Millionaire Maker slate. So I like Rashad Bateman here versus the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. My Millionaire Maker tight end is Dallas Goedert from the Philadelphia Eagles playing the LA Chargers, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Dallas Goedert has averaged 10.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 4.4 pass targets per game. He's on the field for 74% of the snaps. He's going to be about 10% owned, projected at 11.6 fantasy points here in Week 9. He's 4,500 DraftKings salary, 1,700 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 50 points scored in this game, with the Eagles trailing by 1.5. So this is a great tight end matchup. It's a high-scoring game, a close, competitive game, and Dallas Goedert got 7 pass targets last week, scored 13 fantasy points. So I think he makes a lot of sense at only 4,500 DraftKings salary. So I like Dallas Goedert here versus the LA Chargers.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video, or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. You've unlocked the bonus content.
Okay guys, here we are in the DraftKings lineup optimizer. Over here on Draft Dashboard, we have our Millionaire Maker core locked in here, and we've generated a lineup. So let's see who we got. We got Lamar Jackson, Alvin Kamara, Myles Gaskin, Rashad Bateman, Hunter Renfrow, Keenan Allen, Dallas Goedert, Brandon Cooks, and the Panthers defense. So I love this lineup. I like Myles Gaskin. He's got a fantastic matchup versus the Houston Texans, who haven't been able to stop the run. And then it looks like we're running it back there with Brandon Cooks, who's been fantastic so far this season and getting a ton of pass targets. He even was productive last game, and he had a really tough cornerback matchup. Now he's in a great matchup versus the Miami Dolphins, who've been struggling to stop the pass. And, okay, so Hunter Renfrow, normally I wouldn't be playing Hunter Renfrow, but Henry Ruggs is going to be out for the season because of some off-the-field trouble that he got in. Really sad story, and the lesson there is, guys, call an Uber, no matter who you are. Get a driver when you go out and party or whatever. Just really sad story. So I love this lineup. I'm going to save this lineup so I can optimize it later. Okay, now here we are in the FanDuel lineup optimizer. Over here on Draft Dashboard, we have our Millionaire Maker core locked in here. We've generated a lineup. So let's see who we got. We got Lamar Jackson, Alvin Kamara, Myles Gaskin, Rashad Bateman, Tyler Boyd, Stephon Diggs, Dallas Goedert, Adam Thielen, and the Giants defense. So I love this lineup because we got Lamar Jackson and Rashad Bateman, and then we're running it back with Adam Thielen, and then we got Stephon Diggs. He's a stud. And let's see, if we wanted to upgrade Tyler Boyd, we could go with Jalen Waddle, Marvin Jones Jr., Kenny Golladay, but he's just coming back from injury, so I'd probably go with Marvin Jones Jr. here, or Jalen Waddle, but I'm going to stick with Tyler Boyd. He scored 17 fantasy points last week. He's on the field for 80% of the snaps. He had about 3 games that he was not playing well, but outside of that, every week has been fantastic. So I'm going to stick with Tyler Boyd in there. I'm expecting his ownership here, yeah, it's a low ownership at only 4%. So that's nice in these Millionaire Maker lineups. And then I like Adam Thielen at only 5% ownership. He scored 17 and 24 fantasy points the last 2 weeks. His ownership is still pretty low, so I like that play. And for our defense here, I just noticed this. We could go with the Packers versus the Kansas City Chiefs, just because the Kansas City Chiefs have been awful the past couple of weeks. At only 2% ownership for the Packers, if you want to roll the dice with that one, Kansas City Chiefs have been turning over the ball. But I think I'm going to stick with the Giants defense over the Las Vegas Raiders, who have lost some pieces on the offense. So I think that's probably the better play, because Kansas City Chiefs, they're bound to put up a monster game on offense. So two bad games already. I'm not going to bet on a third bad game in a row. So anyways, I like this lineup, so I'm going to save it so I can optimize it later if anything changes.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.